We're talking about what is happening with this stimulus package and the fact that we've got dueling within the Democratic Party. They're fighting with each other. The Vice President Harris has gone after Joe Manchin, the Democratic senator from West Virginia, and also Kristen Sinema, the Democratic senator from Arizona. Why? Because they're looking at the package a little bit differently than the other.
It's political incompetence, if you ask me, because, look, Joe Manchin is someone that from the very beginning has said that he wants a COVID package, but yet he's talking reasonably about it, Jay. He wants the dollars that were already passed in COVID stimulus to actually reach the people that were needed. So when they pass another package, it's the people that get the help that's needed.
Vice President Harris, this is what she said in West Virginia, aimed at Joe Manchin, the senator, Democrat from West Virginia.
We ran as Democrats, but we are Americans, and we will lead as Americans. The reason I am here in West Virginia talking with you is because everybody matters, whether you voted for us or not.
That's what she said. Joe Manchin happened to hear it. Here's what he said.
I saw it. I couldn't believe it. No one called me. We're going to try to find a bipartisan pathway forward. I think we need to, but we need to work together. That's not a way of working together, what was done.
A bipartisan pathway, which is great. They're the same party.
Intra-party disputes among the vice president and the senior senator from West Virginia should not be happening at this time.
Through the media, of course, which is what always it seems to be. You know, you can't just you take this. They're right down the street from each other.
She said he didn't make a phone call. He didn't call me.
The fact that did not happen, Jay, I think puts in great jeopardy the vote of Joe Manchin. And again, I mean, I know I sound like a broken record here, but if you don't get the vote of Joe Manchin, if you don't get the vote of Kristen Sinema, that means you only have 48 votes from your party. You must get Republican votes to pass something through. And while they're doing that, in the House of Representatives, they're using a parliamentary tool that says we don't need any Republican votes. So, Jay, I'm not sure where they come up with a vote.
When there's these situations where the American people's livelihood is played, as a piece in a game of chess to circumvent certain politicians because you may not agree with them, like I said, in the same party, well, we do know that Joe Manchin has had significant feelings towards certain more liberal-leaning Democrats. So what's the easy way to get around it? Go directly to his people. It's something she has the access to. And again, I believe she should have the access to. This is not necessarily the best way to do it.
Here you got the Vice President of the United States attacking her own party because they don't like what the members of her own party are saying. They're not on the same page, in other words, which means their legislative affairs people in the White House aren't getting it done. So it begs the next question here, and that is this. The only people suffering are not those senators and congressmen in Washington, D.C. It's the American people. And they're using the media as a whipsaw, Logan, to kind of get this all fired up.
It was brought up in the press briefing the other day. So let's take a listen so you have an idea of what's coming out, what kind of spin's coming out of the White House.
Are you concerned that budget reconciliation even, may not be realistic or that you may lose some Democrats? Is that why Vice President Harris was making those calls to shore up Democratic support?
Vice President Harris was making those calls because we want to make the case to the American people across the country. And obviously, she's not traveling to those states and holding big events or even events with, not big crowds, but some crowd. And so this was a way to do exactly that.
The question was, are you trying to shore up Democratic support? Well, if that was the goal from that call, it failed.
Big fail.
I'd say it failed. What does that even mean?
They're not doing big events. They're not even doing small events. There's not events with crowds. There's not events with no crowds. There's not events at all. It was
it was just, let's attack Joe Manchin and see if we can embarrass him into embracing something he doesn't want to do.